My pranams to all. So today is the topic for today's discussion is enlightenment. Can you just mute yourself so that I don't hear an echo? And even on the recording, there's no echo. Yeah, only when you have to speak, you can go on audio unmute. So be on the video. Yeah, good. So the topic for today's discussion is enlightenment. What is enlightenment? And how do we, if it's something to be achieved, how can it be achieved? And related topics about enlightenment. So let's first hear it from all of you. You've done hopefully your research and homework, and you have some understanding of what is enlightenment. Let's hear that first. So we'll start from the top of the list here that I see on my screen. I see Vivek first. Vivek, would you like to share what is your understanding of what enlightenment is?
So I think I'm the most confused of all. I have no idea what enlightenment is. And
based on research, based on what you've studied, what you've heard.
A feeling of feeling free from all sorts of thoughts, all sorts of anxiety.
Okay. So freedom from all thoughts and anxiety is enlightenment.
Yeah, if I get that till there also, I'm fine.
That is your enlightenment. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're good enough with that enlightenment.
Yeah,
free from thought and anxiety. Okay, fine. Next, I see Ajay.
Hey, Murli. Yeah, hi everyone. My network is actually slow, so right now I think it's fixed. So I'll put it in my perspective.
Yeah.
So there is a thing, knowledge. There is wisdom. So knowledge, wisdom are things which are external. I mean, if you know about something, if you go outside, if you find something that is giving you a new information, that is knowledge. And then the second comes wisdom. When you figure something of your own, from your own understanding, from your experience, that will form your wisdom. And then there is enlightenment, that is inner. So knowledge is external, and then when you start knowing about the inner, who you are, how you are, and like you get to know about more about what is mind, what is your soul.
Okay.
Then you get enlightened.
Okay. So your definition is to know about yourself, your own mind, and your spirit is enlightenment.
It's the true nature of you.
True nature. Okay. Very good. Thank you. Next, I see Beena. Beena, can you hear me? No, we can't hear you. Meanwhile, we can move to Ivan. Ivan, can you share your understanding of what you think is enlightenment?
Yeah. I agree with the idea that to know more about yourself. I think there will be more. Know more about myself and know more about this world, and know more what kind of people we will be.
Okay. So what do you think happens when you know about yourself?
Yeah.
Why should you know about yourself? Huh?
I think both. Know myself and know myself. Myself is also the world.
Okay. So what is the output of that? What happens if you know about yourself?
If I know more about myself, maybe I have feel peace.
You have peace?
Feel peace. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So to know more about yourself so that you are at peace. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure, valid. Next, I see Mamta. Mamta, do you want to share your idea on enlightenment?
Yeah, sure. There are two things on this. One is my own understanding of this word enlightenment,
Yeah.
which I don't know how it was there in my head, but it has been there,
Okay.
which is more about deeper understanding of the self and hence the universe, basically
Okay.
the human existence.
Okay.
And I thought that people like Buddha, Nirvana is what enlightenment, probably what they attained. But when I was doing a Google search on this word called enlightenment,
Okay.
it actually threw up pretty interesting stuff. First of all, it talks about an era of enlightenment, some 17th, 18th century French Revolution and European Revolution.
Okay.
A lot of people came together apparently to use the reasoning to understand human political and other aspects of life better in order to achieve peace, etc.
Okay.
And but I wonder, because enlightenment is more from spiritual perspective rather than any other objective meanings. So I was not sure what that enlightenment movement meant. I
Okay.
didn't go into a lot of details there, but when you do a Google, it only talks about that.
Right.
The European revolution and the era around that.
Right.
And interestingly, it didn't throw up any of the Indian spiritual masters or anything that has happened in India,
Sure.
which kind of surprised me that either I don't understand enlightenment or the world sees it very differently. I have no idea. Or the Google sees it very differently.
Or change your VPN setting.
Huh? Change the VPN settings, okay.
Yeah.
So that's what I saw, or maybe output of those era of enlightenment was that there is life beyond scientific understanding. That's
Okay.
how probably it evolved. I don't know, but that's just my thought.
So what is, I still didn't understand, what is your understanding?
I already told you in the beginning, that was my first one, that enlightenment to me is the deeper understanding of the self and hence the human existence and the universe.
Deeper understanding of yourself, human existence, and universe.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, I see Beena. Are you ready now to talk? Beena? No, still can't hear you. Santosh?
Yeah, Murli.
Yes, sir. What do you think? What is your understanding about enlightenment?
Yeah, like what I understood is like exactly like what Mamta said right now, like deeper understanding and explaining it to clearly, knowing about the surroundings and the nature.
Knowing about surrounding and nature is enlightenment?
Like deeper understanding, to be precisely.
Deeper understanding
Explaining
of
clearly, or like to know it very precisely.
know it very precisely. Okay, sure. But that's in the objective context. What about in the spiritual context?
To know about yourself, to deeper understanding of yourself.
Deeper understanding of yourself. Okay. Okay. Prasad?
Hi, good morning. See, my understanding about this enlightenment is about the knowledge of the about anything, like whether it is life or the relationships or whatever we do, and get the clarity in that, clarity in our mind. From the knowledge, get the clarity. So that's, and continue to keep the clarity at the same level or higher level is what I see as enlightenment. We want to have the clarity in our mind, like we'll have less clutter and there is no clutter in our mind. So clarity is the only thing which gives whatever. It's not about right or wrong, but we need to have our clarity.
Okay, so clarity is enlightenment.
Yes.
Okay, good. Who else is there? Saujanya? Saujanya, are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can see you as well.
Okay, great.
You look enlightened.
I already looked enlightened. Thank you. So, enlightenment, I mean, with all my understanding, is a complete journey within self. It's a journey of a transformation of what you are or you're meant to be, and the being is supposed to be in this universe. That's what I
Wow,
understand.
that's a very academic definition.
Probably,
Very
but that's my understanding.
okay, very nice. Surekha? Surekha, are you there?
Right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. Hi. Yeah. So I was just thinking about it, and I think enlightenment has this connotation of freedom. So just going by that, probably freedom from everything we know about everything, about the world, about ourselves. So I think.
Oh, we lost you, I guess. It's a bad network. So we'll come back to you. We'll quickly finish Beena. Beena, are you there? Can you hear us now? I can see you, but I can't hear you. No, still not audible, Beena. Are others able to hear Beena?
No.
No, I can't hear you. Her.
Yeah, no, we can see you, Beena, but I can see the video. I can see you waving your hand, but I can't hear what you're saying.
Is it audible now?
Now I can hear you, yes.
Okay. Okay, there
Yeah.
was some issue with the microphone, I guess.
Yes, please tell me, what is enlightenment?
Uh, according to me, I think it's some kind of liberation and some kind of, freedom from all suffering.
Okay,
Freedom
okay.
from all dependencies on any external factors.
Okay.
I think knowing the true nature of yourself.
Okay. So what happens, what do you think happens if you know true nature of yourself?
I think that is, that leads to freedom and liberation. That's what my understanding is.
Okay, good. Yeah, Surekha, now? You want to try now?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear, but the voice is too loud. Say something?
Hello.
Yeah.
Is this any better?
Little better, yes. So give us your definition of enlightenment and we'll move on.
So it's pretty much what Dina said. I think that's what I was thinking as well. The word enlightenment comes with this connotation of freedom, and just going by that, I think it's freedom from what we know about the world, about ourselves, and like she said, when our true nature is revealed, I think that's enlightenment. And what happens when we attain enlightenment, I suppose, is since it's a sort of a revelation, maybe the way we function changes, the way we look at the world changes. I guess, yeah.
Okay, well, so enlightenment will change the way you look at your world, the way you function.
I suppose, yeah.
Okay.
You can't, yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so did we cover everybody? Can you all just,
Smita is there online.
Smita is excluded.
Okay, she doesn't show.
So she's in silence. Her name is Smita. You know what Smita means?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, she's just there to smile on the video. Unless you want to give your definition, Smita. Okay. Okay, so Saujanya, Santosh, are you able to go on video? So we're starting now.
Actually, the network is too slow here. I mean,
ठीक है.
I'm just getting 2 or 3 signals. It's hardly I can hear you properly. It's
Okay. So anyway, so as long as you're able to hear a little bit, anyway, we have this video recorded. and we can refer to this later. That's the only reason we thought we'll have a video. So we will start our contemplation and enlightenment. We are at 11:13 now. We will try to continue till 1 p.m. Is that okay for everybody? That's 2 hours from now.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, okay.
If at any point of time, if anybody wants to drop out, just feel free to drop out. And if you, after you have dropped out for some reason, you want to join in, you can join in as well. Okay?
Okay.
So we will try to understand what is enlightenment from a spiritual point of view, and what is its relevance to our life. Is it, see, we all from our childhood and from books and stories and movies, we have heard about enlightenment, some form of enlightenment, and there is some being who is superior in some way to a normal human life. And most of us have a feeling that that is for some special people. It's a very special feeling, state of being. It's a complete transformation of something. And to reach there, it's we first of all, most of us don't know how to reach there. And even if we have an idea of how to reach there, all that idea is our education from our comic book stories and movies, where it's a very elaborative process and it's kept far away from a normal human being who is living in Bangalore or living in a city in China or living in Jayanagar. So first of all, what is enlightenment, and is it for us? And even if it's for us, will it transform, or is it useful to our life? Kuch paisa badega, kuch kaam milega, will something happen because of enlightenment? These are all the different areas that we look at. Okay. So enlightenment, the word itself. Now, in a spiritual context, there are different words for enlightenment in an Indian language, which is Sanskrit. But I'll first start with English. So normally in a generic discussion sense, in a normal sense, about in a academic sense, people say you're enlightened about a subject. Let's say you are starting to attend a music class or a physics class or a math class or any subject. The moment you get some knowledge on that, you are enlightened about that part to the extent of your understanding, right? So that's a definition. So you know about, please, so they say, please enlighten me about this subject. You know about the subject, please enlighten me about coding. So I don't know coding. Vivek, please enlighten me about coding. Then Vivek gives an explanation about what he thinks that I can understand. Then whatever I understand, to that extent, I am enlightened about that subject. Okay, that's the normal meaning of enlightenment, to understand a subject to the extent of your own comprehension ability. But in the spiritual sense, it's very different. So in the normal sense, it's light. So the word enlightenment itself has the word light. The answer is there in the word. It is enlight. There has to be some light. That's why behind all the enlightened people, you see some light. Have you seen the picture of Buddha? There's some light behind. That is how they show that, okay, this person is enlightened, if he has some light behind. So let's put some tube light behind, and if there's light, you're enlightened. So it's just to show that this person, there's some illumination about some aspect of life which is darkness for somebody else. Okay? So in the spiritual sense, if you can live in darkness or you can live in light. If you live in light, you are enlightened. There is no in between. In a spiritual context, there's no in between. Either you're in darkness or you're in light. So darkness means to perceive the world in a certain way, to understand yourself in a certain way, which is far from reality. Okay? But if your perception and your understanding is in tune with reality, then you're enlightened. And your experience also. Okay, so let's understand this better. So to see the world as real, is the world real to all of you?
Feels real.
It feels real. So whatever feels real is real. Okay, so the world is real, and consciousness is unknown. When I say consciousness is your true nature, is unknown. World is real, consciousness is still imaginary. When I say consciousness, it can be consciousness, God, true self. All those are synonymous. So world is real, consciousness is imaginary, is darkness. Consciousness is real, world is imaginary. World is, I think we lost. Hello?
I can hear you.
Okay, you can, okay.
You can hear you.
Okay, so world is unreal, consciousness is the only reality, is enlightenment. So since we have a person from China, I'll quote a Chinese enlightened master. So have you heard of Lao Tzu?
老子是
Lao Tzu.
to mean 老子
Yeah, Lao Tzu was an enlightened master from China. He said, he gave a definition for enlightenment. To know the other is wisdom. So you know about the other. You know about other can be other subject or something. But to know yourself is enlightenment.
Yeah, that's right.
Now there's a problem here. What is yourself?
Sorry, repeat that question.
To know the other is wisdom, and to know yourself is enlightenment. What is yourself? Okay, let me share my screen. Can you all see this blank page?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have a world. Okay. Then there is you. All right. The world is object. Okay. You are subject. When I say you, it's here, it is body, mind, and intellect here. So you are perceiving the world, you're seeing the world. Okay, so you're seeing the object, and you are this. You know yourself as body, mind, intellect. Right now, you don't know yourself anything apart from body, mind, intellect. You think, I am this body that I have, I am the thoughts that I have, I am the ideas that I have. Okay, that is the subject, that is you right now. And this you is perceiving the objective world. So it's like you're seeing the world through the glasses of body, mind, intellect. Is that a real vision of the world?
No,
It's a
fragment of
biased,
reality.
it's a very biased way of looking at the world. Correct? So to give you a simple example, you are very, very clear when it comes to something, somebody, some other object, something. You have so much opinion. This is right, this is wrong, this is how it should be. For example, a political party, you give comments, this is not how this person should act, behave. But when it comes to something of your liking, you get that becomes blurry. Lines become blurry. Like in the case of a parent, the parent is, or anybody for that matter, is very, very clear how to raise somebody else's child. Yeah. But when it comes to your own, you become biased. You start giving some sort of a preference, or some different treatment. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Ivan, are you understanding what I'm saying? So this, you're looking at the world through the glasses of body, mind, intellect. You're looking at the world through your mind and your body. So if you have, let's say, a white person's body, you'll see, okay, there are some black people, there's some other people. You start labeling them. Okay, so all these kind of people are criminals. All these people are dumb. All these people are inferior to us. You understand what I'm saying? Depending on your body and your mind, you label the world. Is this point clear? So enlightenment is looking at the world without any labels. Does it make sense?
That sounds dangerous. Yeah.
So you're looking at the world through many labels, through glasses. For example, if this glass is red, then the world also is seen as red. Correct? But is the world really red? No. So the world is something. What it is, we don't know yet. But the first step is enlightenment is to know that, become aware of the glass you're wearing. First, know I'm wearing a red glass. First step. Then we'll see, then also understand, because of the red glass, whatever I'm perceiving is a partial and false perception. Vivek?
Yeah.
So you're looking at the world in certain glass.
Yeah.
And that is showing the world. So whatever knowledge you have of the world right now is absolutely false. Especially in this context, now we have some disease going on and the world is in some sort of a calamity. So you will have some idea about the world. Oh, what has the world come to? And you can feel anxious, or you can feel sad, or you can feel good. No, you can get to work from home. Whatever you feel, the world, the reality of the world is still far away from you. So enlightenment is about, can I look at the world? Can I first understand that I'm wearing a glass? A. Is that part clear to you? That you're wearing a glass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the seeking is, then you also understand, because I'm wearing the glass, whatever I perceive right now is because of the glasses I'm wearing, which is body and mind. And I label the world based on the body and mind. Second understanding. The world is not what I perceive. There is some reality to the world which I will only understand once I remove the glasses. Okay? When I say remove the glasses in here, it's not removing the body and mind, it is silencing the mind and silencing the body and the mind. Then you will see the world as consciousness. That is what is called Brahma Satya Jagan Mithya. Consciousness is real. The world is projection. This is the enlightened vision. Is this part clear?
Yeah.
So now let's go. So you're looking at the world as an object. Let's take. But you say the body and mind, this glass is a subject. But is the glass a subject? Did you get the object and subject, everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I see is the object. Is the other. Who sees is a subject, correct? The seer is the subject. But who is the seer? Is it the body, mind, intellect? What is this?
Nari.
Coconut.
So you can see this video also. Sorry, I don't need to stop my sharing.
We can see you on the side.
Okay, you can see. So what is this?
Coconut.
Coconut.
Coconut. Let's say there's before this stage where this came from, there's another covering, right? You've seen from the coconut tree, the actual coconut. What is that? The one that is hanging in the tree, what is that?
That's also coconut.
That's also coconut. What is this?
The inner part of coconut.
What do you call this?
Shell.
Coconut.
Coconut.
You break this. What is inside it?
What?
Huh? The
Coconut again.
white part. What is that?
Coconut.
Coconut. All three are coconut. What is the real coconut?
It's not real. No real.
So Ivan, have you? I don't know if you get. Do you see this, Ivan? Have you used this?
Yeah, I think
You've seen it. You come to Bangalore. You've seen it. What is this? The coconut.
Coconut. Coconut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is inside of it? It's coconut.
Coconut.
So what is the real coconut? What is inside or all the outer layers? What is real coconut?
So Murli, I have a question here. I mean, can I go ahead?
Yeah. No, 1 second. This is.
Yeah.
So which is coconut? Is this coconut? No. Is this coconut? No. This is coconut? Yeah. In the same way, your body is this. Not you. Is that Ivan? Is that Vivek? Is that Sureka? Body? No. Mind.
Body is not us.
Body is not you. Mind, is it you? It's like the second layer. It's not you. What is you is what is inside the coconut, real coconut. So what is you is the one that sees this. The knower. And then the knower is the real subject. When you are able to see the body, mind, intellect as an object and also the world as an object, then you're enlightened. When you are able to see the body, mind, world all as an object, and an object that appears, not a real object, just an appearance, including your body and mind. When I say body and mind, including the body and mind also includes the different roles that you play. What are the roles that you play? Example, I am a coder. I am a artist. Ivan, what are you? What is your profession?
Profession, salesperson.
Sales, okay. I am a salesperson. Ajay is a developer. Saujanya is HR. Mamta is a media person, right?
No. I'm a product
No?
manager.
Oh, okay, product manager. Aren't you supposed to be making sure everybody is working today?
No. I'm not
No.
a project manager. I'm a
Oh,
product
you're a
manager.
product manager. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Okay, Santosh is a scientist, right?
No. GIS analyst.
Huh?
GIS analyst.
Analyst, okay. We'll give you a fancy name. You're a scientist.
That's too big word actually. It's a dream for me actually.
Prasad sir is an entrepreneur. All of this are not you. Clear? So there is these are roles. Let's say a person takes a much bigger role. Guru or master. Someone who knows he is the self and not even this is what we call as Sadguru. Enlightened master. There are two different things, okay? There is a guru and there is a Sadguru. What is the difference? A guru is a teacher. Okay, there can be a yoga guru or even a spiritual guru. But he or she himself is still not established. He's still stuck to the role of a teacher. He's not an enlightened master. Where in the case of a Buddha or a Ramakrishna or a Ramana, they are not even guru. They are pure consciousness. When somebody comes, they take the role of a guru. Understand? That is the beauty of a Sadguru. Sadguru is an enlightened master. He or she is able to take the role and even not even be attached to the role of a master. That's what Krishna is. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is a friend. Immediately he swaps to a role of a Sadguru. And again he immediately swaps to a role of a friend. Because he is nothing. To be nothing is enlightenment. Okay, let me start a new page here. To be nothing. Clear so far? So you say, I am so and so, something. It's not real. I am God also. Not real. I am nothing, silent. It's enlightenment. Whatever you put after I am is false. Even if it's God, Brahman, a consciousness, whatever. The truth is, I am. That is a state of enlightenment. To be no labels, free from all labels. The fear, the suffering, the anxiety, everything comes because of the label. The world itself is not fearful or it's not as scary as you imagine. But your labeling of the world makes it so. For example, let's say you go to a different country. Let's say you go to a different country where you see somebody of a different skin color. Okay? You have somewhere labeled that skin color they are thieves, they are abusers, and they are whatever, they are monstrous. That creates the fear in you. The label that you have applied onto the world is what distorts you. Is it making sense? I don't
Yeah,
hear.
but those labels get created for certain reasons, right? They are not always created without a reason. And that
The
reason is
label,
again probably the perceived reality of the world that we see.
the label is definitely created for a reason, and you have to deal with certain things as they are labeled. But is that what we do? Our mind takes it to the next level. It starts superimposing labels on to a unimaginable extent, unreal extent.
So if
Not
I
sure,
have a
but
question.
that's true. Yeah.
Mamta, take your glasses off.
This classes. Okay. I think Sujanya was trying to say something. So
No, I just have a question. So I understand when you start giving labels, that's not what it is. But when is saying I am what I am is also a label.
What is it? I am what I am is what also a label?
Is that also considered as a label?
I am what I am. See, I am what I am is a realization. If there is a realization of I am what I am, any label doesn't matter. For example, for a Krishna, for an enlightened person, they use the label, they use the role. Okay? Where an unenlightened person, they become the role. So the classic example given is in the case of when they do in the rural places in India, in villages, they do these dramas, maybe Yakshagana or some sort of a performance, folk performance. So what happens is there is a character of a Devi, a goddess, who is going to kill, who has to kill. So it is said that the artists, they become so involved that they actually go to kill somebody. They lose their, ability to discriminate. They get so involved in the role that they actually go to kill. So they keep a pumpkin. They actually do this. Because in that rage, in that embodiment of the role, they have to slaughter something. And they slaughter finally a pumpkin. So in your own life, forget about playing, acting in a role. Do you all watch movies?
Yes.
You watch movies? You listen to songs and watch movies? Everybody? Prasad, sir, you also watch movies?
Yes, yes.
Or you watch, let's say somebody watches a game, a cricket match, or a game that you like. Because cricket is so famous in India, I'm giving an example of cricket. Have you seen people get so involved in the match
Yeah.
that any form of distraction causes rage in them? Okay, so I had a long time ago, I had friends who used to take leaves whenever there's an important match to go and sit at home and without any distraction, watch the match. Or there are people if you go to the theater, you'll see when they're watching the movie, get so involved that they also start relating. If there's a Saas Bahu scene, they also start feeling, oh, or if there's a romantic scene, or if the heartbreak scene, whatever, they become involved. Do you become involved when you watch movies? Do you also react with the character?
Horror movies.
Fortunately not.
So Krishna, I have a question.
Yeah.
See, what you are telling is like we play a different role, or we think that role is real for us.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, if you say like in our life, in a day of our life, we go through a different roles.
Mm-hmm.
So in office, we are one role. And then when we come home, it is a different role. When we are with friends, it is a different role.
Correct.
So does it mean, so in office, what role I am playing?
Mm-hmm.
I'll carry the same kind of a mindset while I'm with family, at home or with my friends. Is no, right? It's generally not. We don't carry. So that way, even we are playing, we are using the roles or the labels as such. Definitely, like if I try to play the same role what I play at at office, at my home, it doesn't work.
Clearly not. You're not the boss at home.
Exactly. So that way we are not. When we say I am an entrepreneur, I am not saying I am the entrepreneur at all the time, 24/7.
Right.
It is a contextual.
Right.
So what do we derive out of it?
No. So the question is, I am all. So what you're saying is, I have many roles as a person. Everybody has many roles. They have a role of a father. They have a role of a husband. They have a role of an employee. They have a role of a manager. They have multiple roles.
Mm-hmm.
And in a normal sense, people don't carry their role to the other places. Like when they're at office, they are probably the manager. When they come home, they become the husband or the father. Okay, so there's no difference. An enlightened person also swaps roles. An ordinary person also swaps roles. So what is the difference? Is that the question?
Yeah. So we also swap role, but what is the difference between the enlightened person and then any normal person?
The difference is you play a role, an enlightened person plays a role. So it's a performance. So when you go to office, there's a stage, you start acting. An enlightened person also starts acting. But when you are performing the role, you are still within a framework of that identity, of that role. You're not free to think, or your mind doesn't allow you to think beyond your biases of that role. To give you an example, you're a father. I am playing a role of a father. When I'm playing a role of a father, I have a boundary within which I operate. Okay, and that boundary are all the biases that I carry. What are the biases? The biases of knowing exactly what is right for my child. And the understanding that this is what is the right thing to be done. All the teaching is that when you know yourself, what is to be done will come perfectly and spontaneously to that situation. But in the case of playing in an unenlightened person, they are stuck to their ideas. They know that this is how the child should be. This is not how the child should be. This is what I should say. This is not what I should say. So the response is very based on limited resources and limited data or limited understanding of life and your own self. But when you know yourself, you respond based on the situation, not based on your own biases. Does that answer the question? So all of us play roles, true. Enlightened person also plays roles, true. But there's a very great difference between an enlightened person playing the role and unenlightened playing the role. The simplest difference is, do your roles hurt you? Is there hurt in the roles that you play?
No.
If it's no, then it's fine. Then you're free. But in general, if there is hurt, the measurement is hurt, disturbance. So let's say I'm an artist and I paint a picture. The moment somebody says, "Oh, this is what a bad painting," then if the artist feels hurt, then he's become the role. Let's say I'm a teacher and I'm teaching, and the student doesn't understand or behaves in a different way. Then if I feel hurt, then I've become the teacher. I'm no longer free in a true sense. If your role is hurting you, if your role is creating desire, fear, anxiety, what will happen to me? So you're an entrepreneur. What will happen to the business in 5 years? That itself becomes you don't know to do. So many people, they've worked for 50, 60 years. They do have no idea what to do after they retire. Because they only know themselves as that role. Okay, then they'll try to find ways to do the same thing what they were doing when they were employed. Does that make sense? So the only difference in enlightenment is, here also you're taking roles, but here subtly the role starts entering you and you have expectations from the role. It's not a role taken from pure wisdom of yourself. Unless you know your true self, whatever role you take, you will be bound by it. Is it making sense or not?
Yeah,
okay, I'll tell you a story.
Sorry, I my connection got lost and then reconnected. I missed last.
So whatever role you take on without the knowledge of your true self, it will bind you and it will create disturbance. Well, let me give you a story. So there was an old man in the village. Is everybody still here? Ivan, I think, dropped off. Okay. So there was an old man in the village. They had horses, very few horses. One day, one of his horses, it ran away. And everybody gathered, and they were like, "Oh my God, you lost your horse, such a sad thing." And they all started to cry and make a big fuss. And the old man was like, "Okay, fine. We'll see. It's okay, we'll see." Then after a few days, that horse that had run away bought a few more horses, wild horses, to his house. So now he has more horses. Then all the people gathered around and they were like, "Wow, this is a great thing that happened, such a good fortune." And they all started celebrating. And he was like, "Okay, it's fine, it's okay." Then the next day, his son was playing on the wild horse and he fell down and broke his leg. Again, all the neighbors gathered. "Oh my God, such a misfortune." And they started, crying and complaining. And this old man said, "It's okay, it's fine, we'll see." And the fourth day, the last day, the military people came of that kingdom. And they wanted to take able young men from all houses. They came to this man's house and they saw the son has broken his leg. He's useless for the war. And they just went away. Again, everybody gathered around and started celebrating. And this man was fine. It's okay. Okay? This is enlightened living. No matter what situation changes, there is no wavering of the mind.
It's a balanced mind.
It's a balanced mind in up and down. But when you become the role of a guy who possesses the horse, when the horse leaves, you go depressed. When the horse comes, you go elevated. When the sun falls, you go depressed. When the sun doesn't go to war, you go elevated. You move with the tides of the world. In enlightenment, Nischala, it's called Nischala Tattvam, non-movement. Nothing happening on the outside will move the person. Horse goes, okay. Horse comes, okay. Disease comes, okay. Disease goes, okay. Life is okay, accepted completely as it is. When life is accepted in its totality, there is no requirement for anxiety or fear. You understand? Your anxiety and fear is what? This will happen. What if this happens? What if this happens? When you say, what if this happens, but I'm okay with that happening, what will happen to the mind?
It will be calm, no anxiety.
You can't say that when you are attached to the role. That's the difference between an enlightened being taking on a role and an unenlightened being taking on a role. Forget about enlightened being. Forget about unenlightened or enlightened being. Look at actors. So we all know these celebrities and actors, right? So there are these actors who very well know they're playing the role, correct? Right? Actors know very clearly they're playing the role. But there are actors who become the role and they start carrying it in their real life and they become depressed and they either commit suicide or something happens to them. We have seen so many cases like that. Do you know that?
So does it mean like, it should be, I mean, the moment we are detached with, or we are not disturbed with the results, whatever that role, that action, the role takes. So that means like, we are not disturbed, we'll be balanced. Is mainly from the results or even the anxiety comes because of the, related to the result.
No,
a good
the
result,
detachment and the unhurt feeling and the peace are all byproducts of knowing yourself. The detachment is coming because you know the world is unreal. As long as the world is real, you can never be detached from it.
Okay.
The moment you realize the world is unreal, detachment comes as a byproduct. Like in your dream, the moment you realize it's a dream, you don't have to say, I'm detached to this in the dream. It's by default, you're detached from what you see. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
So that's why the Krishna says in the shloka, in the second chapter, Dukheshu anudvignamanaha, Sukheshu vigataspраha, Vita raga bhaya krodha, Stitadir muni ruchyate. Dukheshu anudvignamanaha, the enlightened one doesn't get disturbed when there is a sad situation. Sukheshu vigataspраha, he doesn't become excited in a happy situation or a great situation. Vitaraga, he is free from like and dislikes. He is free from all labelings. And he's stita, means he's still, no matter what happens. That is the state of an enlightened being. Is that worth achieving for you? For all of you? Do you think that is something that you would want to have? A life of equilibrium, a life of equanimity, a life of witness. It's called Sakshi Bhava. So enlightenment, I said in the English word is enlightenment, but in spiritual Indian sense, it has many different words and they all mean the same thing. One is mukti. Have you heard the word mukti? Mukti is enlightenment. Mukti means, what is mukti?
Free from everything.
Mukti means freedom. You know what? Freedom from what?
Everything. No attachment. Free from
Mukti
everything.
So mukti is enlightenment. Freedom from looking at the world through the glass of I, me and mine. You look at the world without the interference of I, me and mine. It's a pure perception of the world. Right now, the perception is through the glasses of I, me and mine. And that I is body, mind, intellect. Me is all the roles. Mine is all that you think that you possess. Without, free from I, me and mine, and looking at even I, me and mine as object, not me. And a pure, knowing yourself as pure witness. And that witness is called Sakshi, Parabrahma, Atman, they're all the same thing. So to be in the state of witness is to be enlightened. Clear? Any doubts, anybody? Ajay, sorry, you were telling that something that time. Ajay?
Yeah. I mean, regarding that glass thing, I had a doubt. I mean,
yeah.
So we see different. If you look at the world, and if we say it is, we are looking through a glass, through a specs, right? And so we see different organisms will have a different.
No, we lost. Line got cut. What was that? We see what? Not able to hear you, Ajay.
1 second.
Maybe it will help to stop the video there.
Is it audible now? So is the correct?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Yes.
Okay. So I was saying different beings have different set of specs. So for example, ant will see the world differently. Goat will see it differently, and human beings, us, will see the world differently, right?
Right.
So doesn't that glass will help us to understand, to understand in BMI, the body, mind, intellect, to what is the world is. So for example, if you remove your glass, everything will be everything will not make sense. it'll be all very visible. It'll be all it'll be like a mess. So that glass is helping you to um, contemplate the reality. So will
True.
is it simplifying, or that is like helping you to part of the world, like, so is it like something that should be there, instead of like, if we remove the glass, we'll be in like a complete mess. We won't be able to make a sense of like what is the world is. And like, I mean, to live in the world, I feel like glass is important. I mean, that is like one thought. uh, you can
Okay. So the glass, the purpose of the glass, when I say glass here, is the body and the mind. The glass is required to experience the world. Okay.
Yes.
So have you seen that video where I don't know if you were there in that class, where I showed that guy who's wearing the Oculus and who starts panicking because of what he sees? Were you there in that class?
Yeah.
You were there, right? So you saw. So he's wearing a device. Wearing of the device is to experience something. But what did the device start causing?
Reality.
Originally, the body and mind and the world is created to experience the bliss of Brahman, to experience the highest joy and bliss. But over a period of time, what does the glass start creating? What, like in the Oculus, no? That guy, he wanted to enjoy. So you're creating an Oculus because you're not happy with this reality. You'll go to a virtual reality. But in virtual reality also, you start getting palpitation, heart attack, anxiety, which is unreal. You understood? So the purpose, wearing the glass, wearing the body and mind, is for you to experience the world, which is fine. You don't have to remove that. You only have to remove it for some time to see reality, what reality is, and again take it on. But this time when you take it on, nothing in the world scares you. For example, you're wearing a red glass and you see the world is red. Okay? Then you take off the glass. Then you see for the world for what it is. Now you put the glass back on. You still see the world is red, but you know that the world is not red. Do you understand? Ajay?
Yeah.
So the classic example given in Vedanta is a snake and a rope. So there is a rope in the night. Are you able to see the screen?
Yeah.
There is a rope in the night, and somebody sees and they think it is a snake. And they start feeling afraid, tensed, shivering, and everything. Then you put a torch on it, a light, and you see that, okay, it is not a snake, it is a rope. Then when the light is switched off, again you see the snake, but this time you're not afraid. You understand? Once you see the reality of the world, you can operate in the world, but the world doesn't operate within you. Now the world is operating within you. Ajay?
Yeah. Yeah. The connection was weak. That's why I turned off the video.
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, I got it. The snake and the rope.
Yeah, so that's why it's called nirvana. Have you heard of this word called nirvana?
Yeah.
Nirvana means, vani means sound. Nirvana means no sound. Okay, what is no sound? No
Silence.
thought of I, me, mine. To perceive the world without this noise in the head of I, me, and mine is nirvana. Buddha attained nirvana. Means what? He became free from I. I am so and so. I am Siddhartha. I am son of this king. I am the body, I am this mind. He became free from all this. And he said, I am pure awareness. And the world is not objective reality. It is just consciousness in a different form. It's nirvana. So no noise, no thought. Nirvana. It's also called as mukti. So now I'm just putting out all the different names or different words that they say what enlightenment is. Nirvana. Mukti is what? Freedom.
Freedom.
Freedom from I mean mind. Not mukti from the world. Not mukti from job. If I become enlightened, will I become free from earning money? No. If I become enlightened, will I become free from my husband or wife? No. Will I become free from all my responsibilities? Absolutely not. Everything is still there, but you become free from bearing all that responsibility on your head. Okay? So the only difference is, it's like two people are traveling in the train. There's one person sitting with all his luggage kept at the bottom. There's another person sitting carrying all the luggage. Okay? Enlightenment means just sitting in the train without you having to carry your luggage. The train is already, regardless of you carrying the luggage or not, the train will go to its destination.
So you will get mukti from the joys as well, right? I mean, all the good things of the world as well.
What is good thing of the world?
I
Can you
mean,
give me an example? What is joy?
no, like it's a like you'll get mukti from all your emotions as well.
Give me an example. No, give me an example.
I mean,
Eating.
Huh?
yeah. I mean, see, the joy you get from your work, matlab, you are in that role. So the joy you get from your work, the joy you get by eating, sleeping, the joy you get when nobody is roaming around like that. So
Okay, so we'll take up. I'll put it here.
yeah.
Joy. Are they all the same thing? Are they all the same thing? What are you asking about in this 4?
No, when you said mukti, right? So
Yeah.
that's like freedom from I, me, and myself.
Okay.
That will also give you mukti from your emotions as well.
So what happens when you become free from emotion?
You become emotionless.
No. Yeah, you become emotionless. See, this is where you have to understand the difference between these. Happiness, pleasure, joy, bliss, and suffering. Suffering is the presence of something. Okay? An absence of suffering is happiness or bliss. Bliss is infinite. When it is there for a long time, infinitely, it is bliss. Happiness is when it's spurts. But happiness is the absence of suffering. So when you become free from the cause of suffering, which is I, me, and mine, what is left? Did you get the question, Ajay? Like right now in your body, you don't feel any pain, no? So you are in a state actually of bliss. You don't know. Only when you're feeling some pain, then you start saying, "Oh, my body is suffering." The absence of pain is taken for granted. You understood? So when you become free, let's say you have a pain, you become free from the pain, then you're in your natural state. And that natural state is a state of bliss, infinite bliss, constant. And then you will ask the question, what will happen to my the small joys that I feel by eating joy ice cream, or the happiness that I feel when I watch something or eat something? All that will remain, but they will become insignificant because you are recognize the infinite. Like for example, there is a child. As a child, he was drinking fruity. Okay, then he becomes a teenager. He starts drinking beer. Then he starts drinking whiskey or something else. Then what has happened to fruity and beer? And then the next level is called as Amrit. Once you drink Amrit, everything else will continue, but it will become insignificant. Do you understand? But the problem is, whatever joy that you know in life right now is actually just an outer mask for example, to give an example, you go out on a vacation. It's a joyful situation, correct? You're happy with your friends, partying and all that. But throughout in the background, you're thinking about the vacation ending. Arey yaar, kal se, your Sunday, for example, supposed to be joyful, but the burden of Monday, not tomorrow Monday, because tomorrow is anyway working from home. In a normal context, the Sunday becomes miserable because of the Monday coming up, especially Sunday evening. Do you understand what I'm saying? Your joy is sugar mixed with sand. You're eating, whenever you say I am joyful, you're eating sugar which is mixed with sand. And the sand is the upcoming suffering that you anticipate, the end of that pleasure, because you know it's going to end. You're always seeking something that doesn't end, which is bliss, which is nirvana. Ajay, understood?
Yes, got it.
So it's your natural state. Enlightenment is your natural state. It's not that some special thing that you will attain. It is every human being's natural state. Now you're in your unnatural state. You become something. I have become Ajay. You have become Ajay. You're in your unnatural state right now. To be enlightened means not something extraordinary. It is to be ordinary is enlightened. Already, you become more than what you're supposed to be. An enlightened person means he becomes very, very ordinary. Very simple. Clear? What else is there? Then it's also called as gnana. So it is gyan or atmagnan. The knowledge of yourself as sakshi, witness. It's also called samadhi, but sahaj samadhi, natural. So you're always in a state of samadhi, meaning equanimity. Samadhi means intellect. Samadhi means a balanced intellect. So it is sahaja samadhi. You're always in a state of samadhi. natural equanimity of the mind. And it is aparoksha. Aparoksha. Anubhuti. It is aparoksha means it is your own experience. It is not some artificial, you don't need another instrument to experience it. You don't need a mind, you don't need a body, you don't need any other instrument to, you don't need a different state. It is your natural state without any help of another instrument. It is aparoksha. Any doubts in enlightenment so far? I think I'll stop my teaching on this. We'll take up questions now if anybody has a question, or if you want to take a break, we can take that. What do you want to do? You want to take a break, or do you have questions? Or shall I continue? What is enlightenment is clear? I'm not able to hear anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is enlightenment is clear?
Yeah.
What is enlightenment? Perception without, it's like removing the glass. Perception without interference of I, me, and mine. Right now, the subject is I, me, and mine, and the object is the word. Moving from that to I am Sakshi, consciousness. I, me, mine, and the word are objects. To be able to even look at your own body mind as an object, then you will able to even make corrections in your own body mind intellect. Otherwise, you feel you are perfect and the entire world is, the problem. So somebody else making a mistake is very, very clear and transparent to us. Okay, somebody else is having a relationship problem. You are able to give gyan and you're able to, give a corrective method. No, you should not do like this. You should say like this. Very clear. But when it comes to your own problems, you have a blind spot. You become subjective. You say me. But when you're able to look at your own body, mind, intellect as an object, then you are able to become free from it. Any doubts?
Need some time to process.
Vivek, is
No.
enlightenment clear?
It is clear at the moment. I'm sure I'll go get confused in some time.
What is the confusion? It's your natural state.
I
It
think
is
the
not an
confusion,
attainment. Yes?
I think the confusion is the way we understand this world or ourselves. It's all that perceived reality or that glass that we wear, the BMI. And we know it's not real as we are talking. The world is not real, it's unreal. But beyond that unreality, it's hard to imagine or think of what is that real self. And that's where it becomes difficult to disassociate yourself from all these roles that we play all the time.
Right.
And hence all those emotions or sufferings or everything else.
Right.
I think that's the biggest challenge. I mean, it's understood what is not real,
Right.
but to imagine the real and to think of the reality is something that is hard.
So reality cannot be thought of or imagined or perceived.
Sure.
What you said is absolutely right.
Yeah.
It's very true. What we have done right now is there is a laddu or let's say a jalebi. I have now explained to you, okay, jalebi is like this, jalebi is it has this much sweet, it is made like this and everything. But you have not eaten jalebi. And when you eat jalebi, all the theory is useless. You understand?
Yeah.
When you see reality for yourself, the world by itself becomes, the unreality of the world becomes very clear to you.
Sure.
Right now, we're taking the ulta route. We're going from the unreality of the world to what is reality. The actual way is just directly go to reality.
Mm-hmm.
But you cannot directly go to reality without all these clarity
Sure.
about these things.
Sure.
Otherwise, your mind, so directly going to reality is very simple. You know how?
Take the blue pill.
What is that blue pill, man?
Watch Matrix.
Yeah. So taking that is enlightenment itself is the simplest thing, but the mind doesn't allow.
Correct. Correct.
So you know what is the key? How to get enlightened? The secret.
I don't know.
Okay. So whoever can repeat after me, repeat. Dhyana Moolam,
Jnana Moolam.
Dhyanamoolam,
Guror Murtihi, Puja Moolam,
Puja Moolam,
Guror Padam,
Padam,
Mantra Moolam,
Mantra Moolam,
Guror Vakyam,
Vakyam,
Moksha Moolam,
Moksha Moolam,
Guru Kripa.
Guru Kripa.
So the secret of enlightenment is Moksha Moolam Guru Kripa. That it has always been clear just by the teaching. And when I say Guru Kripa, it's not okay. You've seen in the movies, no? This somebody does like this and some light comes out. It's just a symbolic way of telling that light is teaching.
Mm.
Just the teaching of the enlightened one brings enlightenment.
Mm.
Same thing that happened in the Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna, Krishna is only teaching. He's not giving any light, other light. Teaching liberates you. Buddha also spent his entire life after enlightenment teaching. In just listening to the Buddha, the students became enlightened. In Vedanta, it's called Shravana. Shravana means just to hear. Just by listening, the Guru says, you are that. Over. That's all. All the lifetimes of darkness will go away. That's why it's called Moksha Moolam Guru Kripa. When you see the master that says you are that, then all your delusion disappears and you get established in the self. But if that doesn't happen, that means you have some doubts. And this is a process of clarification. But enlightenment itself, there is nothing more. The only thing is, you are that. You are consciousness. World is dream. You are just dreaming. There is nothing else. So have you seen the movie Matrix?
Yeah.
So in the movie Matrix, the person is inside the Matrix. Somebody who has gone outside the Matrix comes inside the Matrix and tells him, this is not real. He doesn't understand. Because everything I can touch, feel, everything I can see, this is real to me. I have a life. Everybody is here. Then he's taken out of the Matrix. Okay? But to take out of the Matrix, he has to cooperate. He just has to let go. That's all. What did the person do to go out of the Matrix? Did he do anything? He was just taken. So enlightenment is on your part non-action. What is called surrender. So Sri Krishna tells in the last chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Meaning give up all your actions and effort and just surrender and I will deliver you. You understand? So how to get enlightened?
Waiting for the master's blessing. And I see you as my master.
Shravana, just listening to the teaching constantly. See, otherwise, in your day-to-day life, the reality of the world is reinforced. The world is real, God is unknown. The world is real, God is unknown is reinforced.
Yes.
You need to spend time where world is unreal, consciousness is real, and I am that consciousness.
Yep.
And in meditation, you experience that. You come out, you drop your that virtual reality simulation device, and you experience firsthand the consciousness. Brahma Satya Jagan Mithya is enlightenment. Any doubt? So a Buddha or enlightened being or a spiritual master lives in that constant truth. They're forever Brahma Satya, Jagat Mithya. It's unreal. Is it worth attaining?
I think so.
Attaining is a wrong word because
Yeah.
it's already there. There is some covering. You just have to remove that covering. That's all. So the process of enlightenment in the Vedantic system, in the Bhagavad Gita tradition, is very simple. But in a different tradition, for example, a yoga tradition, it's very difficult. If you go to Patanjali or a yoga master, enlightenment is yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi, years of practice and everything, then you will attain it. You understand? But the reality is you are already that. What do you have to do to know who you are already? You just have to give up the wrong perception.
I think that's why it takes long, because it's not so easy, right? As I was saying in the beginning, that removing that glass and disassociating yourself from that role is so difficult, and that's why probably it takes a long time to get there.
There is also a perception of the mind in the dream.
Okay.
Isn't it?
I don't know.
Only until the point that thought process is changed. That's all.
Correct.
It is only difficult to a point where you start thinking it is easy. That's all. That's the only difficult part of it. Okay. Any other doubt?
Is it the state of nirvana or enlightenment? Is it a stable or a fluctuating kind of a state?
So, is the state of enlightenment stable or is it fluctuating?
Yes.
So there are two experiences or states. Let me share my screen again. Okay, another. Can you all see the screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mano. Another name for enlightenment is Mano Nasha. Mano Nasha is destruction of the mind. Then there is Mano Laya, which is suppression of the mind. Destruction. So the question that Prasad sir asked, is it stable or is it fluctuating? It is fluctuating. So to give you a Vedantic answer, in Vedanta the answer given is, there are two snakes, two types of snakes. One is a green snake, water snake. It bites you. What happens? It hurts and you are recovered. Then there is the king cobra, poisonous snake. It bites you and you're dead. So it is stable or not depending on which snake has bitten you. So in the case of Manolaya, so what happens is people do some meditation, some practice, and they experience silence of the mind. That is Manolaya. But the mind springs back again. There's a fluctuating experience. Sometimes they're silent, again they're disturbed, and again when they do the practice they're silent, again they're disturbed. So that's not a constant. It's not a freedom. It's just laya of the mind. It's Manolaya. But enlightenment is Mano Nasha. Enlightenment is never fluctuating because it's death. It is death of the ego. There is no more, the mind can spring back again because there is full illumination. There is no more any ignorant thoughts can come. Once you've understood the world is unreal and I am consciousness, when you've understood it with clarity in the intellect, no more can the ego arise. So it can be fluctuating. If it is fluctuating, it is manolaya, it is not enlightenment. When it is manonasha, when the root of the mind, the I is destroyed, it is established. There is no, it is a place of no return. It cannot come back again. Does that answer the questions? Sir?
Yes.
So whatever is fluctuating is not enlightenment.
Yeah.
So the enlightened person can interact with the world. A Buddha can speak. He can say, I am teaching you and all that. But within himself, he has no doubt. He is not self-deluding himself that I am teaching. He knows that I am consciousness. I am non-doer. And the shloka for enlightenment is, have you heard this mantra called the Gayatri mantra?
Mm.
Has everybody heard?
Yeah.
I can't hear.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so shall I move to this topic? Any other question now? I'm just moving to the next topic. Within enlightenment, a different header. Is it okay?
Murli, I have. Murli,
Yeah,
can you
can
hear
you-
me?
Hello? Bina?
Yeah.
Tell me yes.
I lost the connection in between. Can you repeat the example of sugar and sand? So you were saying that an enlightened person remains doesn't fluctuate.
It doesn't, the experience of enlightenment.
No, the sugar and sand example that
Sugar
you.
and sand was in the context of happiness.
Okay.
Whatever you call as happiness right now
Mm-hmm.
is just suffering masked as happiness. So
Okay.
you look forward for something or you experience something.
Mm-hmm.
Because of your mind, the mind will never allow you to experience, you to be in the present totally, because the mind means past and future. The
Mm-hmm.
moment you're in a vacation, you are happy with your friends, you are projecting the future of not having what you're having right now.
Yeah.
Which is more powerful? Which is more powerful, hate or love?
I think, yeah, hate.
Which is more powerful? The overwhelming sense of suffering and fear overpowers the small happiness that you take.
Yeah.
And even recollection of happiness. Even now you sit here and you recollect, oh, in 2019, I went on a vacation to Bali and it was so awesome. So Saujanya went on a vacation to Bali, no? So it was so great and we had so much fun. What is behind is, I'm suffering right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I'm recollecting the happiness that was.
Right.
So have you ever experienced real happiness in your life? You have, as a child.
Yeah.
When you had no concept of future, when you had no concept of past, what you experienced as a child was real happiness.
Right.
That was the context of sugar and sand.
So how is an enlightened person, detached from this? Like, does he remain
He has come out of the game of happiness and sadness. He understands both happiness and sadness are imagination of the mind. The bliss, the true nature, the self is beyond happiness and sadness. It is called Ananda. Have you heard the word called Ananda?
Yeah.
Ananda comes from the word Ananta. Ananta means infinite.
Right.
So he is established in a state of infinite bliss and happiness, and there's no more hankering for happiness and no more running away from unhappiness. So right now we're in a state of going after happiness. Whatever we do right now has only two motives. You have come to this session with a desire that you will get out some happiness. Maybe you're bored for the last week. Okay, today we'll get to see some faces. Anyway, we're not able to go outside. Some happiness. Okay, and listening to some Atma Gnan, some happiness. So all our actions are only two motives: going after happiness or running away from sadness. So that whole struggle stops. Understood?
Yeah.
Any other question before I move to Gayatri Mantra? Shall I go ahead? Everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Gayatri Mantra is the mantra for enlightenment. What is mantra? Have you heard mantra? Have you chanted mantras? Vivek, what is mantra?
Secret recipe.
Secret recipe, success mantra. People say, no, what is the success? What is your success mantra? Secret recipe. Mantra means mananat trayati iti mantraha. Mananat trayati. That which transforms, uplifts, and destroys the mind. Mana means mind. Trayati is three. Trayati. To transform. So at one level it transforms. The chanting of mantra purifies the mind. It transforms the mind. Your mind shifts to a divine space. It uplifts the mind. And it destroys the mind. It has to destroy the mind. That is the purpose of the mantra. Mananat trayatitra mantra. It destroys the mind when you understand the mantra. Clear? What is mantra?
Can we say it transforms through mind? So there's like mantra, then there is tantra also, like bodily things, and then there are yantra also, that is the tools. So I thought mantra is like through mind, tantra is through body, and yantra is through tools. So can we put...
Everything is through mind. No. Everything is through mind. So there's mantra, there's yantra, and there's tantra. Everything ultimately is through the mind only. Without the mind, there is no yantra also. Yantra is a manifestation of the power of the mind. Yantra is a device or a machine. The machine is conceptualized in the mind and then it manifests. Correct? There's mantra, there's tantra, there's yantra. They're all tools, but in the Vedas, the mantras are given for the destruction of the mind, annihilation of the mind. Tantra is to enable the mind, to make the mind powerful. Yantra is to support the mind. This is a support only. This is a making the mind powerful, make it like a fuel. Okay, this is for destruction. Mantra is destroying the mind means removing the root of the mind, which is I. Clear, Ajay?
Yes.
Sorry?
No, nothing. Go ahead. Sorry. Got it.
Om Bhu Bhuha. Forget my spellings. Okay, the Gayatri Mantra is Om Bhu Bhuha Swa. So three. What are these three? The three realms: Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, Suvarloka. Om bhur-bhuvaha. I am currently experiencing waking, dreaming, deep sleep. Please take me beyond these three. Tat savitur varenyam. Tat is that Brahman, consciousness. Savitur is sun or master. You're asking the enlightened master, please take me beyond waking, dreaming, deep sleep, and establish me in Tat. Because you have realized it. The sun is the illuminator. Sun is, in the context, Surya Narayana, the enlightened master, who is illumining, who is teaching. The rays of the sun are the teachings of the Guru. Varenya, to teach. Teach me. Tatsavitu Varenyam. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahe. I won't write out. This is Bhargo Devasya Dhimahe. The D is, it's all happening in your thinking. Okay, the matrix is experienced in thought. That's all. The thought is changed. Thought that I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, I am consciousness. That's all needs to be changed. Nothing else has to be changed. That's why it's the focus of the Gayatri Mantra is D. Fix my thinking. Diyo yona prachodayat. And not only mine, Diyo yonaha. All, everybody else's. All people. Prachodayat means illumine. So can anybody tell me now the meaning of the Gayatri Mantra? Vivek? Can't hear you.
I'm not saying anything. No, I'll pass this one.
Okay, anybody else? Is it clear?
Yeah, it is.
So we are experiencing waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. And we think that is real. And we think that is real because we were never given the right understanding. The problem is not with you. You're not to blame. Nobody ever taught you. So that's why in the ancient India, the tradition of Gurukul was there, where the teaching of Atmagnana was given at a very young age. So have you heard of this teacher called Shankaracharya?
Yes.
So Shankaracharya, at the age of very young age, 8 or 7 or 8, he left his house to become a monk. He went to his teacher, Govinda Padacharya. He went to him, and the first question the Govinda Pada asked is, who are you? And that was a tradition in all the masters, who the first question they would ask is, who are you? And Shankaracharya said, Mano buddhi ahankara chittani naham, shivoham shivoham. I am not the body, mind, intellect. I am pure consciousness. At a very young age. The correction of the intellect has to be done before you fall into the trap. Before you go into the matrix, tell the child, this is a matrix. You're entering the matrix. Whatever you see is unreal. If there is death, if there is birth, if there is disease, all are unreal. Can you imagine somebody entering the world with this wisdom? What will happen? How will life be? Look at your own life. You had some experiences in life. Imagine going through the same experience, knowing it's unreal. What would your current state be right now?
Quite happy.
Quite happy. And would you, that disturbing thoughts, those memories, they won't come up.
Yeah.
And whatever the scars that they gave you would not exist.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
It is just a gap in teaching. there is the importance of gnana. The teaching, the intellect is fixed. Whatever is shown doesn't enter the child or enter the person. That is enlightened living.
Yeah.
But the moment if you lose that opportunity at a young age, you have to struggle later, like what we are all doing right now.
Yeah.
So I was teaching. Around 9 years ago, I started teaching children. My first batch, this was around 8-9 years ago. There was a child called Sriram. He was in the first standard. He's in Kumar. He's in a school. This is recorded. So he's in a very good school in Bangalore. So I was teaching a shloka of the Bhagavad Gita in second chapter about death. How there is the self, you're the Atma. There's no birth and death for the Atma. Death is illusion. Whoever dies, they move on to another body, and the explanation of that. The child understood, and this is a real story, okay? And sometime in the school, after the school, after the last period, he found everybody left, and he found his class teacher was crying. And he went up to the class teacher and he asked the class teacher what happened. And the class teacher said, no, somebody passed away in my family and I'm grieving. This person was very close. I'm very hurt, not able to come out. And she didn't want to indulge much because there's a child who was asking. And Sri Ram said, quoting the shloka of the Bhagavad Gita, the Brahman, the Atman doesn't die. There is no death. Death is an illusion. Okay, and then he told whatever he understood from the class. And the teacher became very peaceful and calm. She called the parents. They had a parent-teacher meeting. And she told, this child told this. And it had this impact on me. Where is it learning all this? So when the teaching is given at a very young age, it corrects you won't go into wrong perception. Are you understanding?
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is, right now, everything seems so difficult and chaotic. It's because you were not given the teaching. And having heard this, you have a responsibility to not create the same reality for somebody else.
Yeah.
So you have a responsibility to bring this wisdom to the next generation in whatever way you can, so that they don't experience, because perceived world is a very, very scary and chaotic world. You do not want to bring a child or a person into that. Why? It's like knowingly you're putting somebody into a prison. But you shift the perception. You say the world is a dream and you can create whatever you want. When the child enters the world as God, that's why children are God, because they're free from perceptions. They create whatever they want, but later they get programmed. But can you enter the world saying, okay, this is all a manifestation of Brahman, and I am that Brahman, and I can change it however I want. You're no longer a victim of the world. Right now, are you a victim or are you the master?
Victim.
Enlightenment is freedom. No more victim. You can't play the victim card anymore. You are Brahman and you take the responsibility. I am Brahman and I can transform what I see, because whatever I see is unreal. Any doubt? Was this virtual session as impactful as the real session?
I would say quite close.
Quite close. Then we can think about doing more virtual instead of if people are not able to travel.
Saves the traveling time.
Sorry, what are you saying, Ajay?
It saves the traveling time.
Yeah.
Then don't get vada and banana cake and chai.
Yeah, that's the only thing that we miss.
Sureka, you haven't said anything. Do you understand?
Yeah. I'm following everything.
Any doubts,
Okay.
anybody? Enlightened? Huh?
Only
Yeah.
so I have the same doubt that I asked in the group yesterday. That so if all this is a dream, then where does this I come from? Like, does it come from the mind?
Okay, so the yesterday's discussion on the group is a slightly different topic. Should we close this topic of enlightenment?
Mm,
Shall we close this topic in enlightenment? Is it done? Any questions? Everybody clear what is enlightenment?
Can you
Yeah.
summarize in like the about the definition again?
Okay.
You want to take notes?
Forget it, register. We tend to forget.
Okay, sure. Does anybody else want to summarize? I can summarize, but does anybody else? I'd like to see the understanding. Any volunteers to summarize? Saujanya? Prasad sir? Anybody? Ajay, Surekha, Vivek, Mamta?
I think for me is the realization that the world is unreal and consciousness is the only reality, and then you are free from I, me, and mine. That understanding is the enlightenment.
Very good.
That
Yes.
realization is the enlightenment.
Very true. And how does one get enlightened? How does one get this realization?
By removing the BMI glass.
How do you remove the BMI glass?
Just telling yourself that you are the consciousness and you are that's the only reality.
Yes. So about that, removing the BMI is not necessary for enlightenment.
Mhm.
It is good if you can, but it's not necessary. What it's called as in yogic terminology is called nirvikalpa samadhi. Nirvikalpa samadhi means removing the BMI. You sit in absorption that you are Brahman, and you completely detach from the body and mind. It's what is called traditional yogic sense of samadhi. It is not required for enlightenment.
Sure.
Because to know who you are, you don't need to remove anything. Like to see that the snake is a rope, you don't have to remove it. Even once one small light falls on it, you see that it's just a rope. No matter 1,000 darkness comes after that, you will not be deluded. What is required is only inquiry. That's why I told in one of the classes this beautiful poetry. अब रही मुश्किल बड़ी गाड़े दो काम सांझे तो जग नहीं झूठे मिले न राम. Meaning, when you inquire, the world disappears. Everything disappears. When you don't inquire, you don't get consciousness. Jute milana ram. You'll stay in unreality. Okay, so what is required is only inquiry, and keeping that point of inquiry is related to the discussion we were having on the group. What is the question? Who says I?
Yeah.
Inquire who says I? Who is saying I?
No idea.
Do you say I?
Yeah.
Who says?
The ego.
Huh? Somebody said something?
The mind says
Who was
I.
that?
The ego.
No, the ego and the I are the same thing. Who says ego? Who says I?
It's the I which says I.
The I says I.
Yeah.
So the real I is Brahman. And Brahman doesn't say anything, doesn't have to say anything. The Brahman never says I. Because Brahman is the real I. Who says I? Body
The
cannot
mind?
say I. Vivek, is the question clear first of all?
Yeah.
So you have a feeling of I, no? You have a feeling of I. I am Vivek. I am Mamta. I am Surekha, I am this person, I am that person. Who is saying that?
The mind is creating this. The mind.
The mind is creating that? The I, ego, mind, all synonymous. Who is saying? Who is there? Who is that I? Who are you? Whatever you say you are talking about the shell. Whatever is uttered through the mouth is only about the outer. Nothing can be said about you. But who is saying about the false? The ego. Who is saying? Who is that? Who is lying? Who is lying? Who is lying to be I am body, I am mind? Who is lying? Who is telling I am the role? Is it a difficult question? Raujanya, I can't hear you. I can see your lips moving, but I can't hear you. No, can't hear you. You might want to mute and unmute again. No, still not able to hear you. Are others able to hear Saujanya?
No.
No.
You could probably disconnect and connect again. No? Okay, so is the question clear? Is it a difficult question?
Yeah.
It's the only question.
It's the only question. Who
Answer.
is saying? Who is listening to me right now?
This identity. What?
Huh?
This identity, what is given to us?
See, all of us is also question mark. Identity is listening?
Yeah, looks like.
Looks like. What is identity? Identity is just a fleeting thought. You only tell identity when momentarily, when you have to take it comes and it goes. It's not perpetual. Did you get that, sir?
Mm-hmm.
How can something that's just appearing and disappearing claim anything? And every time it appears and disappears, it's not the same one. Like the first time some identity came up, you said I am Prasad, and then it forgot, it went away. Tomorrow another, not even tomorrow, next moment another comes up. Do you think that one that came up 10 seconds ago and the one that came up now is the same thing? There is a thought that says it's the same thing. But in reality, did you get the point?
Yeah.
You have a feeling, I am, that comes now. And then 10 seconds later, another feeling comes up. Are those two feelings the same thing? There is a thought that stitches up. Okay, so for example, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, you were there. Right now, you are there. Every single thing in you has changed. But only a pattern of stitching together everything is still there in you. There's something in you that stitches. Okay, that was also me. This is also me. that is also me. It's an illusion. There's a stitching that is happening in the background. The mind is just stitching. The mind is just a stitching mechanism. It stitches everything with you. I see this person, it stitches with me. Okay, this person I know, this person I hate, this person I love, this thing I like to do, this food I like to eat. Mind is it goes on stitching things to itself. And it also stitches its own experiences. Today, tomorrow, day after, past, future. It's just something that's holding the story together, where there's nothing to hold. There is nothing, and you're imagining everything. Did you understand the point, Vivek? Like in the Matrix, Neo is seeing all these things. There is nothing. So, do you know the ending of the Matrix?
Yeah.
Where they show in the last the perception of Neo, how he sees.
Yeah.
Do you remember that scene? People who have watched the Matrix. In that perception, he sees everything as like the green, the code.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I'll just pull it out for you. Okay. Share screen. Yeah, this one. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Okay, so there is nothing. All that is seen is there's only consciousness, which is nothing. Consciousness is no thing. It is not object. Nothing means no thing. It's not an object. Okay, there are no objects in reality. And I'm not saying this. Bhagavad Gita is saying this. Even quantum physics is saying this. So in quantum physics, they say that if you collapse all the matter of the universe, if you collapse it, meaning when I say collapse, if you remove the space between them, you know how much matter would be there in the universe? Guess how much matter would be there in the universe? Any answers?
Yeah, fit in the tip of a pen.
Yes. What they in quantum physics, what they say is teaspoon. In one teaspoon, you can hold the entire matter of the universe. The big skyscrapers, mountains, galaxies, planets, everything will fit into a teaspoon. That's all. You feel the solidity of the universe is absolutely false, according to science, and also according to spiritual reality. But the solid universe scares you. Something that does not exist. What is scaring you is just gas. You're afraid. Ajay, did you understand?
Yep.
Think of something that you are afraid of and inquire, what is that? It's just gas. There is no solid, and that is one level. That they say that if you collapse all the matter, it becomes to one teaspoon. The next level they go to say that okay, what is you see something behind me? What is it? What is it?
Wall.
See a wall. This is stone. Okay, put the stone on the microscope. You see atoms. Go deeper. You see subatomic particles. And the most finutest particle they've discovered, you know how it behaves? It appears and disappears. It appears and disappears, but it appears and disappears so fast that you think it's real. For example, a movie. You've seen the movie when you see the movie, it's playing like you see now, I'm moving my hands. But let's say you play it at super slow motion. You see it like that. Okay, and you stop it completely, it's one frame. So our lives is like that. It's appearing, disappearing, moment to moment, so rapidly, and we think it's real. And the thought in our mind is stitching it together, saying it's all continuous, it's the same story, it's the same person, it's the same life, it's the same place, it's the same body, but it's not. It's the same mind, it's not. You meet somebody tomorrow, oh, it's the same person I saw yesterday, not. You go to a place, you say it's the same house that I've been living 20 years, not. There is nothing. There is an appearance of something, and that appearance is made to look real when it's not. And you feel you are part of that appearance when you're not. You're the observer of the appearance. You can either be part of the appearance or observer. To be the observer is called be enlightened, free from the appearance. It's too much going over the head? No, everybody's silent. Either you have understood or you are like in dreamland.
No, I think it's a lot to process.
Yeah, a lot to process today.
Okay, enough shocks for today. It's 1:05. We'll stop right now. If you have any question, we'll take 1 or 2 questions if you have. Otherwise, we can stop right now. Any other doubts?
So I had a question, more like a practical question. Now, say, I mean, your kind of reaction to or your response to the world kind of changes, right? And I mean, normally when we are playing our roles, we kind of know how to respond to a situation, or we're used to responding to situations in certain ways, dictated by the rules or whatever. But now that it's, now that say we don't take on these roles because we can choose not to, how do you then respond to the world or situations or anything?
Most of the situations in the world do not require a response.
There is, can you hear me?
Yeah, I heard the question. I'll just repeat your question and then answer so that we just make sure we got the right question. Your question is, we have to respond to various situations in life, in the world. We have to interact with the world. And how do we respond to this various situation with this wisdom? Is that the correct question?
Yes. Yeah.
So most of the situations in life do not require your response. Like the story that I told you about the old man. They require witnessing. You think you need to respond. Somebody says something, you think, oh, I have to say something back. Not required. Something happens in life, like you're in a group, somebody gives you a news, like you're in a family situation, somebody gives a news, some bad news. You feel you have the obligation to respond just the way everybody is responding, which is not true. You feel that you have to respond to the life, respond to situations based on how people expect you to respond, which is not required. So that's why we have the lives of enlightened masters. So when we learn from how did they respond to various situations in life, non-reaction to life. Krishna's life was filled with grandeur things, but he was sakshi, non-response. Okay, Ramana Maharshi had cancer, tumor, cancer. and they were operating the cancer. Did I tell you about this? He got operated without anesthesia. No response to even the pain of the body. You respond to even the slightest sensation of the body. And so that's what is Vipassana. Buddha gave a practice called Vipassana. Have you heard of this?
Yeah.
There's various centers, Vipassana centers across the world, wherein you just go and observe the sensation of the body. 10 days you will be in isolation. No looking at even another person. They'll give you food 2 times a day. All you have to do from 4 a.m. to 9 p.m. is observe the sensation of the body without reacting to them.
Mm.
To teach you non-reaction. Otherwise you react and you overreact and you overact.
Yes.
Right? Is it required? Because you don't know that, okay, this situation can be handled with non-reaction. And people expect reaction. You see, the biggest blow to the ego is non-reaction. If somebody says something, you say something back, they are comfortable. Even if it's bad thing, they'll come back with something else. But you don't react, they don't know how to handle that.
Mm.
Silence, people don't know how to handle. Aggression, comeback, people can handle. That's why most people are afraid of silence. They cannot handle silence. So non-reaction to first level, external situation. Second level, non-reaction to your thought and your feeling. You are giving too much importance to your thought and feeling. You suddenly feel sad and you start reacting. Oh, I'm feeling depressed. I have a problem. All that. You're making something that doesn't exist into blowing up you're blowing it up out of proportion. Sakshi, that's why I told Sakshi to the body and mind also as object. You cannot do this if the body and mind is a subject. Witness your body and mind as an object and do not react to whatever it throws. The body throws sensation, pain. The mind throws thought and feeling. They continue because you react to them. The moment you stop reacting, you become thoughtless. Thoughts arise because you are reacting. They arise because of you. You stop reacting, thoughts don't come. Same thing in the world. You react because you think it is real. The moment you realize it's not real, non-reaction becomes natural. Why would you react to a dream? Why does do you think Neo in the Matrix will react to anything happening in the Matrix? There is a war happening in the Matrix. Will he react? Do you know what he does at the end of the Matrix?
I don't remember.
He flies. The last thing that he does in the Matrix is he's flying. That is a symbol. So the Matrix is is directed by the Wachowski brothers. You have to watch it as a homework also. The Wachowski brothers are students of Advaita Vedanta. They're big fans of Shankaracharya, and they made the movie Matrix based on the teachings of Shankaracharya, which they speak about in their interviews and their talks. So the flight in the end in the Matrix shows the mukti. I am above everything, free from everything, nirvana, no sound whatsoever, no reaction. Does that answer the question?
Yeah.
And don't take this as a formula for the world. There's no formula. There's no enlightened formula. Okay, anything happens, I'll not react. No. The reaction comes out of what you are. Thumb rule in general, most of the things in the world that happen in your life don't require a reaction. You can go through without reaction also. But you have some inherent tendencies. They will not make you sit silently. So if you look at Krishna's life, the story in the Purana is there was a guy called Shishupala who was a relative of Krishna, and Krishna told he will excuse Shishupala's 100 abuses. The 101th abuse, he will take action. So 100 times Shishupala abused Krishna. The 101st time Krishna cuts off his head with the Sudarshan Chakra. This is the story of enlightened living. The enlightened one does not react to situations in life, but he also takes appropriate action. Okay, that doesn't mean somebody is coming and butchering some innocent animal in front of you. You will be a witness. No, you will take appropriate action, but that appropriate action is guided by silence and not from your ego. Krishna took all appropriate actions, all of them from a state of witness, not from a state of I am the doer or I am the body mind. So don't worry about reactions, don't worry about actions. Worry about who am I. Then whatever action has to happen through the body, it will happen naturally. Focus on gnana. Everything else will take care of itself. Anybody else? Any other questions?
Yes, just one
Dina.
aspect. Yeah, so you said that to be detached from the appearance. Okay, so the I keeps popping up every now and then, even if even after the knowledge that we have. So where exactly does I comes from? Is it from the mind?
No, that is the question. You tell me, where does the kai come from? That is what I asked you.
Yeah, no, I have no idea. So,
Okay. The reality is there is no I. To give you an example, you are in a desert and you see at a distance water. Somebody asks you, or who's traveling with you, what is the source of that water? And that water is a mirage.
yeah.
So the I is a mirage, it's not real. You don't exist. Only Brahman exists. Some shocking news for everybody. Till today, I thought I exist, I'm there, I'm here. The teaching, the realization is that there is a realization. Aham Brahmasmi. Have you heard this statement? Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi does not mean I am Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi means when the Brahma means illusion. When the Brahma of I goes, Brahman alone exists. In reality, now also only Brahman exists. That I is a comes and goes, comes and goes. And every time it comes and goes, it's a new one. You, as what you think you are false. You don't exist. When you inquire, when you only inquire to your own I, it will lead, it cannot be told in words, but to tell in words, it will lead to a place of no I. But full awareness, that is called Brahman. You disappear. Like a salt doll. There's a salt doll. And the salt doll wants to know who are its ancestors. So somebody says it's the ocean. Ocean is full of salt. And the salt doll goes to the ocean to meet the ancestors. And it enters the ocean. What happens to the salt doll?
dissolves.
Can you find it again? It's merged in the ocean. So when you inquire, who am I? The I merges into Brahman. What remains is the ocean, Brahman. And there's nobody to say, I am Brahman. Brahman alone exists. There's no inside and outside. Inside and outside is a concept of the salt doll. There's no me and the other. It's a concept of the salt doll. It's a thought. All concepts dissolve. Okay, we'll stop at this point.
Yeah, it's too much.
Otherwise, most of you won't sleep tonight. This is the approach of Vedanta. This is the understanding of the enlightened ones. This is the teaching of the enlightened ones. And this is what will truly liberate that which thinks it is bound. Okay? Shall we close?
Yep, sure. Thank you.
Thank you for joining, everybody. The talk will be, record will be available. I think we'll share a link on the group later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only one more request. If you could just send the Gayatri Mantra's explanation on the WhatsApp as well.
Yeah, I'll type it down and I'll send it to you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, thank
Have a
you.
good Sunday.
Thanks, everyone.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Murli.
Bye.